I always feel like I'm a little bit red in the face when I come on here for a match reaction. And that game there was absolutely frantic from the first minute to the last minute. Manchester United coming away, 2 points dropped. You can say what you think in the comments. We were 2 goals down after 2 ridiculously bad starts to both halves. No excuses whatsoever. I didn't think the Leeds would have a new manager bounce. I got that spectacularly wrong. But after we were 2-0 down, Sancho came on for Weghorst. We changed the game. Rashford came back in a wonderful header. Then Sancho got his first goal back and Old Trafford was rocking. But we didn't have enough towards the end. It's a good comeback to come from 2-0 down. But Fred with a couple of mad chances there towards the end. He's a proper enigma. He's either great or he's not so good. But I really feel like Bruno Fernandes looked after that game. He is there puffing his cheeks out. Rashford screaming at the post. Ten Hag's hands in the air. It's 2 points dropped because Leeds are in the relegation zone. But I tell you what, you let me know what you think in the comments. But honestly, this is how I feel after watching that game. This is how I feel after watching that game. Screaming at United for what we were doing at the start of both of those halves. Look, simply put, right? I went in there. I was at time to humiliate Leeds. Let's put 4 past them. Everybody feeling confident because we won 13 on a spin at Old Trafford. And I tell you what, I think these players felt like that too, because they started the game in second gear. And Leeds came out absolutely firing from the blocks. Sloppy loss of possession from Bruno, but it was a good goal. Was it Anotto? Can't remember his name. That Leeds player, he was definitely their most dangerous player. Scored their goal, but was their most dangerous player all night. And at the start of the second half as well, it's not as if you learn from the mistake you done in the first half and do it. No, you're just going to repeat the same mistake. That's poor. Really poor from United. But the introduction of Sancho changed that game. Erik Ten Hag made good subs in that game. Pelistri coming on for Garnacho. I'll speak about Garnacho a little bit later in the show. Sancho coming on for Weghorst. Rashford going through the middle. And Rashford with that goal. My God, what a great cross that was from Diogo Dalot. An even better finish than Marcus Rashford. But let's just pause for a couple of minutes here to speak about what I would consider the biggest positive of that game. Jadon Sancho getting back among the goals. And when that goal went in, Old Trafford exploded because it felt, I think that was with about 20 minutes to go. Given how the second half had gone, I think we scored the 63rd minute, 70, boom. This is it. We are going to go and win it from this game. And you saw what it meant to Sancho. You saw what it meant to everybody else on that pitch as well. They're all cheering him, high-fiving him. Martinez is just screaming in his face because that's what Martinez loves to do. But well done to Jadon Sancho. He made a massive impact from the bench there today. He really, really did. And with Rashford through the middle. Mate, Rashford scoring these sorts of headers. Mate, Benny McCarthy, I don't know what you've been doing, but he deserves some serious credit as an attacking coach because it's a massive element to Rashford's game that he's added this year. Did it against West Ham. Can't remember. He did it 2 games in a row. And that one there, it was a good cross from Dalot, but Rashford had to do so much more. And penny for Weghorst's thoughts, by the way. He goes, you're going to fire crosses into the box when I'm off the pitch. Nice. That game didn't suit Weghorst. I've been praising him quite a lot for his off-the-ball work this season. That game didn't suit Weghorst. Leeds were playing with such intensity from front to back. And yeah, as I said, I did not think there was going to be any sort of new manager bounce, and I got it spectacularly wrong. I think Ten Hag is going to be pissed off with how we started, and so he should be. We started abysmally in both halves. Look, I'm not saying fair enough, but sometimes you can get caught off guard at the start of a game like that. Leeds came out firing. Right, we still got 90 minutes of this game. They scored in literally the 56th second. We still had 90 minutes. But to do the same thing at the start of the second half, well, you didn't fucking learn any lesson from the first half, did you? There's nothing wrong with making mistakes in life, but don't repeat the same mistake. We did it the same at the start of both halves. And if I'm Ten Hag, I'd be really pissed off with the players for doing that. And someone I've got to speak about as well, as I said, genuinely an enigma. He's either just superb or just leaves you banging your head against the wall. And both of our chances there, right towards the end of that game, they fell to Fred and both got spooned. I think Fred and Sabitzer obviously making his full debut there today. Leeds really set up to squeeze our midfield of any sort of space whatsoever. Basically made it impossible for us to pass through the middle to Bruno. They had like Bamford, and I can't remember who it was. They had like 2, then they had 3, then they had 5. They were just forcing the ball wide to Garnacho and Rashford. And Garnacho in that first half, look, Garnacho had an up and down game, I would say. In the first, Ayling, by the end of the first half, he had his number. He knew what to do. He knew to go really tight to Garnacho, stick a leg in. He's probably going to get a little bit frustrated. Could have had a goal after a Bruno pass in the first half. Was dangerous. And we were creating chance after chance after chance in that first half. We just couldn't break it down. And that's where the subs did change it. Good management from Ten Hag. Ultimately, I've got to consider that 2 points dropped. Maybe not in the course of how the game went. But Ten Hag went into that with 13 wins on the spin at Old Trafford. Leeds just sacked their manager. They've got 3 managers in the dugout. They've got Chris Armas in the dugout. Surely there's no new manager bounce. Maybe there wasn't a new manager bounce, but there simply was a, we've finally got rid of the old manager bounce, which was kind of a little bit of what happened under Solskjaer after Mourinho got sacked. Was it Cardiff we played next and won 5-1? Maybe it was a similar sort of thing to that. And maybe we should have expected it. And maybe we didn't expect it. I don't think they did, because I certainly didn't as a fan. And I think the team, it's kind of how they played in that first, right at the start of both halves. Just sort of like, didn't expect Leeds to come this aggressive and this fast. And I tell you what, in these sorts of games and scenarios, it's where you are just really happy you've got to play like him. People are talking about some mad takes about that sort of incident in the first half where his foot sort of dragged over Bamford. Oh, ban him, kick it. Give over, people. Give over. That's absolutely madness. As I said, that was the first game where I can really say it didn't suit Weghorst. And that's why Ten Hag made the right decision there to bring this lad on for Weghorst, bringing Rashford through the middle. Mate, Rashford can play through the middle. I don't really want to see, personally, I don't want to see Marcus Rashford out on the right-hand side. I know he can do it. I know he was good there for England, and I think he's done it a couple of times for Man United and Ten Hag as well. I don't want to see it. Rashford, if he's going to play on the left or through the middle, and if Sancho, he's coming through, and Sancho's getting back among the goals, and Sancho's going to play on the left, well, boom. We're going to be playing Rashford through the middle then. And they can chop and change and interweave anyway. But don't put Garnacho out on the left-hand side and force Rashford out to the right-hand side anymore, in my opinion. You're just taking the spotlight and the position away from a player who is in such good form. We can't be doing that. But as I said, Ten Hag, overall from that game, he's going to be very happy with the spirit that the team showed in that second half to come back from 2-0 down, but extremely pissed off as a manager as to how Manchester United put ourselves into that position. Now, lo and behold, we missed. Who could possibly have predicted that we would miss Casemiro in this game? Nobody could have possibly predicted that. But it was frenetic, frantic, wild, relentless, whatever word you want to use to describe it. It was a full tilt match. And I suppose it lived up to what the rivalry is. It lived up to what these games are. It's rarely a sort of 0-0 between these two teams anymore. It's always wild. I thought we were going to come and get that winner. And honestly, I really felt like that towards the end. Especially that one that Bruno floated a ball in, 87th minute or so. You think he's got it. I think it was Wilson, was it McKennie, who just got a touch on it. You think, that's why Rashford's screaming at the post there. But for United to show, we could have collapsed when we went 2-0 down. We really, really could have, but we didn't. We fought back, and I genuinely thought we were going to get the third. And what a moment that would have been for United if we had got that third and kept this momentum going. There's some momentum in itself to take from coming from 2-0 down to get a point. But it's going to be a disappointment for these players. They're going to be pissed off with themselves, I think, more than anything. They're going to be pissed off with how they performed at the start of both of those halves. We had to chase the game for the entire 90 minutes, and we didn't need to do that if we controlled the game as we should. Certainly at home, certainly in the first few minutes. You can't be doing that. As I said, Ten Hag will praise the comeback and slap them upside the head for being so stupid at the start of both halves. So it's a game that had positives, it's a game that had negatives. And the biggest positive of all was seeing Jadon Sancho back among the goals. We're seeing United come from a losing position to get a result of sorts. But now we go to Elland Road. Expect more of the same. And we don't have Casemiro. Sabitzer, as I said, struggled in midfield with Fred because of how Leeds were pressing. They were just squeezing in. We couldn't play through the midfield once. That's why we had to change him. Pellistri, I thought he made a difference when he came on too. You let me know who your man of the match was, what your feelings are on the game. Well, man, that was exhausting. And we really created our own problems with poor starts to both halves. Really, really disappointed with that.